The Special Collections at Norland Library is home to a unique collection of manuscripts, including an assortment of medieval and early modern documents. One common theme that can be found in many of the documents is that of law. The active presence of the church and political authority in medieval and early modern Europe meant that people living in this time were no strangers to legal entities in their lives. This sample of the Medieval and Early Modern Manuscripts collection contains documents pertaining to both ecclesiastical and secular law in England, France, and Spain. The post-antique and pre-modern world was one in which the contention for power between church and state reached previously unseen heights, and the legislation of morality, property, and power meant that the law, its interpretation, and its enforcement became well-known and documented forces throughout Europe. Among the documents in this collection is a deed from 1547 for the sale of 3 parcels of land in England, identified as Bathpool Mead, Brooks Mead, and Marden Mead. The parchment was stamped with the seal of the Court of Augmentations under Edward VI. The Court of Augmentations was originally created during the reign of Henry VIII to deal with disputes over property the Crown confiscated in conjunction with the dissolution of the monasteries in the 1530s. In 1547, the Court of Augmentations was revamped to include the future acquisition of lands, as well as a number of recently dissolved guilds and charitable establishments. Also found in this collection are the Sir Henry Griffith letters. One of these letters details the case of a recusant who openly professed his religious views. Recusancy was the crime of refusal to attend Anglican services in Elizabethan and early Stuart England. The letter informs about a Master Creek who, quote, was a notorious papist and, irreligiously, he had caused one of his own children to baptize another, and further using many vile speeches, which other men had heard. The author claimed that Creek's wife, quote, had seduced Sir Henry Griffith from the religion which always before he had professed. The author suggested that if these other men were called before the recipient, whose name is not visible on the document, but who was likely a man standing in a position to enact justice, they would, quote, declare all the words they had heard. Other examples of documents pertaining to law in the Medieval and Early Modern Manuscripts collection include several pieces dealing with the sale of and dispute over land and property, private letters discussing the religious matters of clerical misbehavior and recusancy, and an ornate leaf from a text on the law of marriage. Such an amalgamation of documentation provides the modern viewer with a sense of how the law functioned, as well as how people negotiated with and operated both within and outside it.